structure of quadratics.
How long are we going to be on this? Of quadratics.
Okay, so polynomials. What does the word poly, or what does that beginning part poly make you think of? Polygons. Does anybody know what a polygon is? It's many sides, any number of sided figure. So a polynomial is just any number of expressions. So a polynomial is a sum of expressions that include numbers, variables, or products of a number and variable. Terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. Okay, so this 4x squared right here, that is a term. So this is a term, this is a term, and that's a term. Notice they're all separated by addition and subtraction signs. Oops. So if you look at this, there are 3 terms in this. We do classify polynomials by the number of terms. So if it only has 1 term, it's called a monomial. Remember the prefix mono means 1. So monomial has 1 term. And these are just examples. So 6, 7x, and 4xy cubed, those are all examples of a monomial. Because notice they don't have any addition or subtraction signs to break the parts up. All right, then you have binomials. Think about a bicycle. Binomial has 2 terms, 3x plus 20, 2x squared plus 8xy. So notice it is not saying that there are two variables. There's talking about terms. So here's one term, here's another term. So it's talking about how many terms. 3x is a term, 20 is a term, 2x squared is a term, and 8xy is a term. Okay. The last one that we call is a trinomial. And it has three terms. Three x squared plus 4x plus 12. Those are all separated by an addition sign. So those are three different terms. So then the whole polynomial is called a trinomial. So then we have degree of a term. So a degree, all a degree means is like it's third degree, fourth degree. It's the sum, no, of the exponents associated with the variables. So if you look, we have 3x squared. So the degree of this one is the squared, or the 2. So you just say it's a degree of 2. Remember, 3x squared means 3x times x. So pretty much all you're talking about for the degree is how many variables are multiplying in that term. So in this case, we have two variables multiplying. Okay, look at this next one. We have 5x. How many variables are multiplying? There is 1. So it's 1. So the degree of that one is 1. Okay, now this one. How many variables do you have multiplying? 0. So you would say a degree of 0. Okay, so if you have, it is 9 because we have m squared, so that's m times m, and then n to the 7th is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 9 total, or 2 plus 7 is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here we go. Now, that's a degree of a single term. Now we're going to talk about a degree of the whole polynomial. So degree of a polynomial. Remember, polynomial means many, so it's the entire expression. And it's always the highest degree of all the terms in the expression. So if you look at this, we have 3x squared plus 5x. If you look at the x squared, what is the degree of this term right here? It's 2. And then what's the degree of the second? It's 1, because there's one variable multiplying. What's higher out of 2 and 1? No, what's higher out of 2 and 1? It's 2. So the degree of the entire polynomial is 2 because you have to pull the highest degree out of all of the terms. Okay, look at the next one. 8 minus x. What is the degree of the first term? It's 0 because there's 0 variables in that first part. So it would be 0. What's the degree of the second part? How many variables are there? It's still a 1 because the x, there's only one x multiplying. Okay, what's higher out of 0 and 1? 1. So the degree of the polynomial is 1. Okay, the last one, or not the last one, I'm sorry. 7x to the fourth plus 5x minus 3. What's the degree of the first term? 4. What's the degree of the second term? 1. And the degree of the last term is 0 because there are 0 variables multiplying. So it would be 4 is the degree of the entire polynomial. Okay, now this one is probably the hardest type of problem that you'll see. So you have 3x plus 5xy minus 2x squared y squared. So if you look at 3x, how many variables, or what's the degree? 1. Now you have 1x and 1y, so it would be, what's 1 plus 1? 2. And then this last one, we have x squared, so x times x, y times y. So you have 2 plus 2 is 4. So the degree would be 4. Last thing, and this should be pretty easy if you understand all of the parts about the degrees, is standard form. And this is the last definition. I just ran out of room. So standard form is written in order of highest degree to lowest degree. That problem is just the problem that we just did on that last table. Remember, the degree of this first term was 1, degree of this term was 2, and the degree of the last one was 4. So if I wanted to write it in order of highest degree first, which term needs to go first? This one right here, the one with the degree of 4. So it would be negative, make sure you take the negative with it, negative 2x squared y squared. What comes next? The first term or the middle term? The middle term, so the 5x y and then the first term needs to be written last, so 3x. The last thing I need to say or explain is how you can write this in the computer, because on your assignment you are going to have to write something like 7x squared plus 2x. So let's write it in standard form first. So what needs to be written first? Oh, it's already written in standard form because the highest degree is first. So you would write it 7x caret, the caret is shift 6, 2 plus 2x. That's how you would type it in the calculator. In the computer. Thank you. In the computer.